I have MS. You know, I've had it. I was diagnosed in 1984 with MS, and you know, that's been really challenging since then. I lost my vision, so I'm legally blind now. I also got physically disabled, bedridden, so to speak. I didn't know I would ever walk again. But then you know, I came back. I went into remission, came back, and you know, was able to walk a little bit. And for years, it seemed like it was just I was getting flare-ups every, you know, so often, like maybe 3-4 times each year. And anyway, I got a massive flare-up. I was going down because some doctor told me after the prognosis was that I was going to go downhill eventually. So I was getting worse. It seemed I wasn't going into remission, and well, I ended up in a wheelchair, you know, and now I was always using wheelchair, really, but this time it was permanent. It was not permanent. I had to like pull on my butt down the stairs sometimes. I remember when this happened, we're living in a townhouse. I liked the stairs because, you know, I could get my exercise in, you know, whenever going up and down. Anyway, I got so bad when I was coming down, so I had to, you know, sit, get down, you know, climb down the stairs on my butt, you know, a step at a time. So it had gotten bad, and I was getting worse, really. And I started on some chemo treatment. This is known as Novantrone. This was, as I said, mentioned. I think I mentioned 2000. This had happened. So the doctor was giving me this. Nothing was happening. I wasn't getting any better. I was getting worse. As a matter of fact, the Novantrone seemed to be doing me, you know, worse than, you know, just not taking anything. So I was taking Novantrone for a while, and I heard about some product that would be able to help me. I heard about this thing Immunical. So you know, a friend of mine was telling me about it, and eventually I decided to take a look at it. I got some literature, read up on it, and then I visited someone who this friend directed me to, Jim Spencer. Of course, he told me about you know, how good this thing was, and all that. I decided to take it. Because believe me, I didn't remember all that he told me about it, but the fact that I decided to try it. Anyway, it took away the side effects that the chemo treatment was, you know, left me with. Like I would get nauseous. My hair would smell like burnt rubber, and certain things, certain smells would just set me off. I mean, I would just feel sick to the stomach. You know, at one point, I even it caused me to get diarrhea and all sorts of stuff. So I was really bad, and I felt bad in my stomach all the time. And this feeling usually lasts for about 3 weeks. I mean, you know, the bad feeling. My urine was described as being green, all that stuff, all during this time. You know, so anyway, I started taking Immunical, and believe me, it made a great difference. Another thing, I usually go to the doctor for checkup. They would check my white cells, you know, which seem to be really sluggish in bouncing back because they wipe out a lot of it. You know, a lot of it is wiped out when you take chemo. This time, when I started on Immunical, it came back 4 times as fast. I mean, that was good. I felt really energetic. I mean, I never had, well, that nausea I was talking about, never had it. You know, during the time I was taking it. But I was taking like 4 packs a day, you know, because I was, you know, coached by a gym to use like 2 packs, you know, the morning 2 packs, maybe at nights and all that. So I should use 4 packs a day, especially when I'm getting the treatment. So, and and during the time, on the day that I would get it, I would maybe up it like, you know, 2 packs more, so 6 packs. So, and it worked. Believe me, it made such a difference in my life. So I tolerated the chemo, you know, for a while. Of course, so eventually I decided, look, because I was hearing from Jim that this is good even for MS. So I said, really? So, you know, I waited, I thought about it, and eventually I decided to try it. I went on the Immunical, and believe me, because I called up my doctor and I told him, look, I'm going to, I want to just suspend the use of the chemo treatment and, just try something else. Well, he didn't want to have anything to do, wanted to have anything to do with that. So anyway, I went ahead and did what I wanted to do. And believe me, it has made a difference. This is, well, almost 3 years since I've been on it. And it has changed my life because right now, as I said, I was bedridden. I used to get some terrible tremors. I used to have pain, in my legs and around my waist. During the cold season, it was usually, I always dread when it comes on to winter because during the colder season, it's like half of my body would be freezing. I mean, half, a little bit warmer, but then it would be so painful. The other thing too, is that I used to get these sweats. I mean, I'm cold, but I'm sweating, and all that. Well, all that went away. that is not happening to me. I don't fear winter anymore. And of course, another thing that, taking Munical has done for me is that this constant worry, this anxiety that I, usually have, because when you don't know, this disease is such that you don't know what it's going to do to you, right? And whenever anything happens, there are times when I would have something happen to me, and I don't tell my wife because I just don't want to pass the anxiety on to her because, and it's always this constant thing. You're just waiting for the next shoe to drop, right? So it has done a great deal for me in relieving me of that, sort of anxiety. So I don't worry anymore. As a matter of fact, I'm hopeful, right? My thing is that I would like every person with MS to actually use Immunical because it's one of the best things to do because it takes care of so many different things, like, for example, we know when you elevate glutathione in the body, I mean, for example, it takes care of inflammatory, conditions and all that, which is what most of the things that they give you is supposed to do, right? Most of the stuff that is doing all this bad stuff, because when I was taking this Novantrone thing too, I was warned about my liver. I had to do tests all the time. So what's better than glutathione to chelate the poison out of your system and protect your liver? I had to take what they call a MUGA scan, that is from my heart, because it would damage the heart tissue. As a matter of fact, just to share this too, is that at one point I did a test on my heart, and the doctor was so surprised. He mentioned something called the ejection fraction. He said it was 85%, right? He said 50 is usually good, so 85, impressive, And I mean, this time I still, wasn't totally out of the wheelchair yet. I was still, moving around a little bit, but not as much as I am now. Well, Immunical has taken me to this point where I'm able to walk. I made a commitment, for this 10th anniversary of Immunotech. I'm going to walk 1,000 yards. Anyway, I ended up walking a whole mile. After I did 1,000, I said, man, I still feel good. I could do more. And so I ended up doing a mile. I never knew I would be able to do it. Even when the time I committed myself to it, I didn't know I was going to be able to do it. But then I just made up my mind that I'm going to do it. And I just went ahead and, worked myself up to doing that. And with the assistance of, a trainer, and Dr. Jarty sort of worked with me and helped me and, prod me on every now and then. So, I mean, it has taken me to this point. I could say it's freedom because I fear MS no more. I have no fear. As I said, I used to get like flare-ups 3-4 times for the year. Yeah. I've not had one since I started on this product, and which goes to 3 years now. So, I think everybody should be using this stuff.